Hi, welcome to The Peripatetic Anthropologist. My name is Bruce and I am an anthropologist. Hello, and we're back with the 30 years, 30 questions. And today I'm going to be answering questions 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 because they're all related. And question 11, the one I'm going to start with, is the big question. And that's why I have 4 other questions related to it, because I'm going to need to explain my answer. Question 11 is Bali really paradise? And the answer is no, it's not, according to me. What is paradise? Well, there's a lot of definitions of paradise. Let me read a few. A perfect place or state. A place or condition of great happiness where everything is as you would like it to be. A place or state of bliss, felicity, or delight. Heaven. Okay, there are definitions. Does Bali fit any of those definitions? Well, it certainly doesn't fit heaven, and you'll see why. It can fit some of the other definitions conditionally, and depending on who you are and what you expect. So, when I say no, Bali is not a paradise, I say it because I get really tired of watching these vlogs that say, my paradise in Bali. There's a great book that was written quite a while ago by Adrian Vickers about Bali, Paradise Created. I highly recommend it if you want to learn something about the history of Bali and why Bali is, in some senses, the way it is today. So a video or 2 ago, I talked about 5 reasons I love Bali. Yes, I love Bali. I love being here. I've been here 30 years. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love it. But is it paradise? No, not for me. Now, in order to more fully explain that, let me take question number 12. What was Bali like 30 years ago when you came here? Okay, Bali was like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. It was a simpler time. Population was not half of what it is now, but just over half of what it is now. The number of tourists, I don't have any statistics on the number of tourists. I'm looking for some number of tourists that were back in 1989 versus the number of tourists that are today. But we have way more tourists. So many more tourists now. And Bali is not getting any bigger. The island is not expanding, and so it's more crowded. There's more traffic. There's more people. There's more nightclubs. There's more bars. There's more restaurants. There's more hotels. There's less rice paddies, roads with nobody on them. The ability to walk down the street, the main street in Ubud at 10 o'clock at night and see everything closed. The sound of crickets instead of motorbikes. So yeah, it's changed. We didn't have air conditioning, TVs, cable, internet. all those things are part of what's changed in the world, and Bali is catching up in one degree or another, to one degree or another. But I miss the old days. I enjoy the new days. I enjoy my life here. As I've said before, I'm relaxed. Nobody bothers me. I can do what I want. There's no expectations that I have to live up to, well, other than being a grandpa and a parent. My own expectations about what it is to be a good person. But there's no careers, there's no jobs, there's nobody telling me you should do this, you should do that, you have a PhD, why don't you do this, why didn't you do that, why do you live where you live? Those aren't issues for me here, and that's one of the things I really love about being here. It doesn't make the island a paradise, but it makes it a great place to live. Now, 30 years ago, my first house, we had a 5-watt light bulb in the living room. Our bathroom was outside in another building. I lived in a Balinese compound. There were people using my bathroom all the time from the compound. The relatives of the family of the guy that was my friend, where I built my first house in Bali. It was a busy place. We did everything by hand. I got a TV. A lot of people came by and would sit outside my little kind of living room. It wasn't really a living room, it was a tiny little place. Yeah, watch TV at night. We play card games. We drink warm beer because we didn't have a refrigerator. And so we send somebody down to local warung and buy half a dozen beers, and sometimes we'd get a few bottles of arak, and that was it. That was our night, sitting under this 5-watt light bulb, playing cards, kind of watching TV, chatting, not staying up too late because everybody had to get up in the morning. You can hear the guys are still pounding away here. And this is one of the things of modern Bali. Construction goes on constantly. I'm sounding like a crabby old man. Oh, I am partly a crabby old man. So, what was it like 30 years ago? It was a lot more difficult in a lot of ways. If we wanted to get a ticket to leave the island, when I had to go back to Papua, I would have to confirm my ticket by going from here all the way down to Denpasar to the Merpati office and confirm it in person. It was an extra day's trip. I couldn't wait until the day before. I needed to make sure that everything was going to be okay because I was working. And phones, we didn't have a phone. So if we wanted to make a phone call, we had to go to the closest public phone, which was out in the main road, over by the petrol station, the gas station. So communication was a lot more difficult. We relied on letters, like people did in those days. And mail in Bali in those days took a long time. There were no diapers. There was no modern supermarkets full of 85 different varieties of cheese like you can find and care for down in the south. Medical care was much more basic than it is now. Those are some of the inconveniences of life back then, but it was made up for just in a slower pace, in less crime. You could leave things out at night and not worry about them being taken. You could leave your helmet on a motorcycle in a crowded place and it would be there when you got back. Those are some of the things that that Bali was like 30 years ago.